Do this when you get paid. My paycheck money budget routine. Saving your first $1 million may seem daunting and hard to achieve. Most people immediately back out and say they can do it when they hear saving $1 million. On the contrary, saving for your first $1 million is not the hardest. It is actually saving for your first $10,000. Although that is the hardest, you're more likely to save for it because you know it's possible. You know you can reach $10,000 and eventually your first $1 million. When you get your first 10,000, that will get you your first 100,000, then your first half a million until you get your first million. Maybe you'll ask, how about saving for your first $1,000? I don't think saving for your first $1,000 is a challenge because your job kind of pays you that amount already. I don't think it's challenging enough because you simply receive that amount. Unlike saving $10,000 where you have to make ways to achieve that. To achieve the first $10,000, I have this paycheck money budget routine. It's something that I do whenever I got paid. If we have morning routines, evening routines, and workout routines, I think we should also have our money routines. In this video, I am going to share what I do with my money whenever I get paid to make sure I don't waste it, but instead, save and earn more money from it. The first part of my paycheck money budget routine is to have a baseline. Basically, it is the amount of money I need for me to reach my goals and live a comfortable life. You see, when you are just starting to learn about finances such as saving, investing, budgeting, and all that, you become obsessed that you try to learn it all at once. The idea of becoming financially free grows and you become extreme with your finances. You would not get lunch every day or you would walk miles just to save money. You would eliminate all of your wants and even some of your needs just to have a small budget and big savings. But by doing this, you become exhausted that you'll think that saving is hard and then you lose hope in your goal. To prevent that from happening, you should have a baseline. A baseline, as I've said, is the amount of money that you need to live a comfortable life, including your wants. Aside from food, shelter, or transportation, you could also include in your baseline something from your shopping, dining out, or anything that makes you happy. Having this baseline will prevent you to feel deprived and having the urge to get money from your savings. Generally, a baseline should include these four main expenses: shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Remember that this is only in general and you can adjust it based on your needs and lifestyle. Let's talk about shelter first, or your apartment or mortgage. For this expense, a rule of thumb is not to spend more than 33% of your monthly salary on shelter. There are people who spend half of their pay because they pay rent in a fancy studio or apartment, and it's not even theirs. They spend half just to live in a place in the short term. My advice is to live somewhere you can actually afford, and that is your own. It's much better to start small in your own home that you can live in for a long time than to spend big on a rental apartment that is not even yours, and you have to eventually move out. The second expense is utilities such as water, electricity, Wi-Fi, gas, phone, and anything that you use that is important. Of course, you have to consider if this expense is too much. If you have an electricity bill that is too high, then you have to save electricity. Maybe you have to turn off your AC when you're not at home, or instead of watching TV at night, read a book. If your bills are high, find ways to make them lower. You can change some of your habits like the ones I mentioned, or for example, your Wi-Fi bill. You can contact them and avail of the plan that has a lower price. The third expense is groceries or food. For me, you should not negotiate your expense for food. Don't force yourself to eat ramen noodles every day in order to save money. If you want to save money on food, do a meal prep and buy more healthy foods. Avoid going out to eat every night. The money that you are supposed to pay for eating out can be spent on buying more healthy foods. The last expense is transportation. This can either be anything you spend for your car, such as oil change, gas, and insurance, or taking public transportation like the subway, taxi, or Uber. Every day, we use transportation, so it is only acceptable to include it in our baseline. For your baseline, you can create a separate account so that whenever you get paid, you get your baseline money from it and put it in a separate account. This could prevent you to not spend all of that money on something that is not actually needed. Again, Your baseline should let you live a comfortable but not luxurious life that you actually enjoy. If you are enjoying this video, please give this a like and share it with your family and friends. Alright, the second part of my paycheck routine is to make sure I have money left after setting aside my baseline. If you don't have money left over, it means you're spending too much or you're earning less. You can earn more by doing different side hustles, asking for a promotion in your job, or just changing your job. If you're spending too much, then you need to lower your expenses, especially the highest ones. For example, if your rent is too high, then you can probably move out and live at something at a cheaper price. Once you have leftover money, the third step is to set goals on how you're going to spend it. Here are the 3 goals that you can try to achieve. First, use it to pay off debt. Whatever debt you have, whether it's a student loan, credit card debt, or personal debt, make it a goal to pay it all off not more than 5 years, except the mortgage because it is really a large amount that cannot be paid within 5 years. Pay off first the ones with the highest interest rates, not those that have the highest amounts. Being debt-free can be stress-free because you don't have this pressure and liability, and you have this extra money to spend wherever and whatever you want. If your baseline is 70% of your paycheck, use the 30% to achieve the first goal, being debt-free. Second, to have an emergency fund. Once you had calculated your baseline, multiply that amount by 3, and that is the amount that you have to save up for emergencies. If something unfortunate happens, let's say you lose a job, you have this fund that you can cover for expenses for 3 months. You can also save up to 6 months worth or even a year's worth. The more months, the better. However, it is advisable that the minimum is 3 months because sometimes a month or 2 is not enough for you to recover. Third, invest, which is the only long-term goal. Invest your money into an index fund or any passive income so you'll have the money for your retirement. That is my paycheck money budget routine. When you get paid, set aside your baseline. It is recommended to allocate a maximum of 70% of your paycheck as your baseline. If you go higher than that, you won't be able to save. Again, the goal here is to save. Once you have your baseline, use the leftover money to pay off debt, save up for emergencies, and invest for your retirement. Repeat this until you're debt-free. You have enough money for emergencies and you have earned from your passive income. Then you'll have more money to put into your savings and to buy anything you want. Remember to make your paycheck routine simple. Whether you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, don't make things complicated and don't go extreme again. By sticking with this routine, you'll be able to save up for your first $10,000 until you reach your first $1 million. I hope you learned something from this. If you want more of this, check out this video or this playlist we made. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. This is the Financial Fortune, and thank you for watching.